Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm giving you 100 study tips in one video. This is the broadest, most complete list on the topic. If it actually helps you learn, it's in here. Some tips are basic, some are controversial, and some of the most popular study advice on the internet is a complete myth. Wait till you see number 50. So every tip comes with a myth meter, showing how much science backs it, so you know exactly what deserves your time. Quick guide to the meter. Every tip gets a rating from 1 to 10. A 1 means it's proven, strong evidence, just do it. A 10 means it's pure myth, skip it and save yourself the hours. I rate each tip on 3 things: the evidence behind it, how practical it is, and the payoff you actually get. One rule for this list: everything here is completely free. No paid apps, no courses, no tutors, just your brain, a pen, and some paper. Which means you can start every single tip today. 1. Active recall. Close the book and pull the answer from memory. Retrieval is the single most proven way to make knowledge stick. Rereading just feels safer. 2. Spaced repetition. Review it today, in 3 days, then next week. Each gap forces your brain to rebuild the memory, and every rebuild makes it stronger. 3. Highlighting. Dragging a yellow marker across the page feels productive. Decades of studies say it barely helps at all. It's motion, not learning. 4. Rereading. Reading the chapter a third time mostly trains you to recognize the words, not recall the ideas. Recognition feels like knowledge. It isn't. 5. Practice testing. Testing yourself isn't just measurement, it's the workout itself. Students who quiz themselves consistently outscore students who study longer without testing. 6. Interleaving. Mix problem types in one session instead of doing 20 of the same kind. It feels harder and messier. That's exactly why it works. 7. The Feynman technique. Explain the topic in plain words, like you're teaching a confused friend. The moment you get stuck, you found exactly what to study next. 8. Embrace the struggle. If studying feels smooth and easy, you're probably not learning much. Effortful struggle is the signal that memory is actually being built. 9. Phone in another room. Your phone drains focus just by sitting on the desk, even face down and silent. Another room beats another drawer. Distance is the feature. 10. The Pomodoro method. 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. The timer isn't magic, it just makes starting feel small. And starting is the hard part. 11. Multitasking. Nobody actually multitasks. Your brain just switches rapidly and pays a tax on every switch. The people who feel best at it test the worst. 12. Single task sprints. One subject, one task, visible on one clean desk. Every extra open thing is an exit door for your attention. Close the doors. 13. Deep work blocks. Guard one long uninterrupted block a day for the hardest material. 90 focus minutes beats 4 hours of interrupted skimming. 14. Study music. Music with lyrics fights your reading brain for the same channel. Instrumental is safer, silence often wins. Test yourself honestly instead of trusting the vibe. 15. Block the feeds. Free blockers turn an endless scroll into a locked door during study hours. Willpower is a battery. Spend it on the material, not on resisting. 16. The 2-minute start. Commit to just 2 minutes. Momentum does the rest, because the dread of starting is almost always worse than the work itself. 17. The Cornell method. Split the page, notes right, cue questions left, summary at the bottom. The layout forces you to process ideas twice instead of once. 18. Verbatim typing. Typing every word the teacher says turns you into a court reporter. Fast fingers, empty brain. Slower handwriting forces summarizing, and summarizing is learning. 19. Sketch your notes. Turn processes into arrows, timelines, and ugly little diagrams. Words plus pictures store the idea in 2 formats, and 2 beats 1. 20. The brain dump. After class, take 1 blank page and write everything you remember, no peeking. 2 minutes of retrieval turns a lecture into a memory. 21. Margin questions. For every chunk of notes, write 1 exam-style question in the margin. Your notes quietly become a ready-made quiz for later. 22. The 24-hour review. Most forgetting happens within a day. A 10-minute review tonight saves an hour of relearning next month. Cheapest deal in studying. 23. Rainbow notes. 6 pens, perfect banners, color-coded everything. Gorgeous. But an hour of decorating is an hour of not learning. 2 colors is plenty. 24. Mnemonics. The sillier the phrase, the stickier the fact. Your brain keeps weird things. Make the boring list into a ridiculous sentence and it stays. 25. The memory palace. Place facts in rooms of a house you know, then walk through it in your head. Memory champions run on this one trick. 26. Chunking. You don't remember 10 digits, you remember 3 groups. Break anything big into meaningful chunks and the impossible list becomes 3 easy ones. 27. The story method. Chain facts into one absurd running story. Each item triggers the next, so remembering the first domino tips over the whole list. 28. Dual coding. Say it and see it. Pair every definition with a diagram or image, and you get 2 roads back to the same memory. 29. Sing it. You still know song lyrics from years ago. Melody is glue. For dates and formulas that refuse to stick, glue works. 30. Photographic memory. True photographic memory has basically never been demonstrated in an adult. Stop waiting to discover yours. The trained tricks above are what actually exists. 31. Learning styles. The visual versus auditory learner thing. Decades of studies can't find it. Match the format to the material, not to a personality quiz. 32. Sleep on it. While you sleep, your brain replays the day and files it into long-term storage. A full night after studying is part of the studying. 33. Preview first. Skim the headings, pictures and summary before reading page 1. A 30-second map makes every paragraph land in the right place. 34. Read with a question. Turn each heading into a question, then read to answer it. Hunting for an answer keeps your brain active. Passive scanning puts it to sleep. 35. Speed reading. 1,000-word-a-minute courses have a dirty secret: comprehension collapses. Reading faster than you can think just means forgetting at a higher speed. 36. One section, one summary. Close the section, then write its point in one sentence from memory. Can't do it? You didn't read it, you just looked at it. 37. Worked examples. Before solving alone, study a solved problem step by step and explain why each step exists. Beginners learn faster from examples than from struggle. 38. Read it aloud. Words you speak are remembered better than words you skim. Save your voice for the trickiest definitions, and they'll stand out on exam day. 39. Stop mid-chapter. End the session in the middle of something interesting. Unfinished business nags at your brain, and that nag pulls you back tomorrow. 40. Quick win first. Open with one small guaranteed win to break the ice. Then move to the monster while your energy is still real. 41. Hardest while fresh. Your best mental hours are a limited resource. Spend them on the hardest subject, not on formatting your notes. Admin can run on fumes. 42. The error log. Keep 1 page of every mistake you make and why. Your errors repeat themselves. The log turns each one into a vaccine. 43. Redo, don't review. Don't nod along to an old solution. Cover it and solve again from scratch. If your hand can't reproduce it, your head doesn't have it. 44. Explain every answer. Right answers can hide guesses. Add 1 line. Why is this correct? If the why is missing, the exam version will expose it. 45. Past papers. Old exams are the closest legal thing to seeing the test early. Same topics, same phrasing, same traps. Work through every one you can find. 46. Copying solutions. Copying the answer key line by line feels like studying and teaches almost nothing. Struggle first, peek at one step, then close it and continue alone. 47. Start ugly. Perfectionism is procrastination wearing a nice outfit. Write the bad first draft. Solve the problem badly, fix it after. Ugly and done beats perfect and imaginary. 48. If-then plans. Decide in advance. If it's 7 p.m, then I open the biology notes at my desk. Pre-made decisions skip the daily negotiation with yourself. 49. Temptation bundling. Pair the thing you avoid with the thing you enjoy. Favorite snack, favorite chair, favorite playlist, but only when the books are open. 50. Waiting for motivation. Here's the big one. Motivation doesn't start action. Action starts motivation. The feeling shows up a few minutes after you begin, never before. Stop waiting for it, and stick around. The exam section later can save your grade. 51. The streak calendar. Cross off every day you studied, even for 10 minutes. After a week, the unbroken chain becomes a thing you refuse to break. 52. Tell someone. Announce your goal to one person who will actually ask about it. Mild social pressure is free fuel, and quitting quietly stops being an option. 53. The 5-minute contract. Give yourself full permission to quit after 5 honest minutes. You almost never will. The contract just gets you past the front door. 54. Punishing yourself. Guilt-tripping yourself after a lazy day makes the next session feel worse, so you avoid it harder. Self-forgiveness, annoyingly, is what the evidence supports. 55. Quiz swap. Everyone writes 5 exam questions, then you trade. You get retrieval practice, plus a preview of how other people expect the test to look. 56. Teach each other. Split the topics, then each person teaches their part. Teaching exposes your gaps instantly, and listening gives you 3 free tutors. 57. The group trap. Study groups drift into social hour fast. No agenda, no timer, no point. Groups are for testing each other, not for first contact with the material. 58. Ask early. Confusion compounds like debt. The question feels embarrassing in week 2 and catastrophic in week 10. Ask while it's still cheap. 59. The rubber duck. No study partner? Explain it to a rubber duck, a plant, anything. Saying it out loud to nobody still finds the holes. 60. The mock exam. Full paper, real timer, no notes, 1 week early. It converts exam day panic into a Tuesday you've already rehearsed. 61. Make the cheat sheet. Condense the entire course onto 1 page, even if you can't bring it in. The brutal act of choosing what fits is the revision. 62. Predict the questions. Your teacher has favorites. Every course has greatest hits. Write the 10 questions you'd set, then prepare those answers properly. You'll hit most of them. 63. Mark scheme mining. Graders follow a checklist of keywords and steps. Read old mark schemes and learn what actually earns points, then hand it to them. 64. The all-nighter. Pulling an all-nighter before the exam is trading your working memory for a feeling of effort. You'll be slower, foggier, and worse at recall. Sleep is the study aid. 65. Cramming only. Cramming can rescue tomorrow's exam and will rob the final. It buys recognition that evaporates in days. Fine as an emergency, fatal as a strategy. 66. The final sweep. Last week before the exam. Stop learning new things. Sweep through your error log, cheat sheet, and past papers. Consolidate, don't expand. 67. Match your clock. Exam at 9 a.m. Practice at 9 a.m. Your brain performs best at the hours you've trained it to show up. 68. Pack the night before. Pens, calculator, Idaho, water, laid out by the door tonight. Exam mornings have enough adrenaline without a scavenger hunt. 69. Brain dump first. The second the exam starts, scribble the formulas and dates you're scared of forgetting onto the margin. Now they're safe and your head is free. 70. Easy ones first. First pass. Answer everything you're sure of. It banks points, builds calm, and often unlocks hints for the hard ones waiting behind. 71. Flag and return. Stuck for 2 minutes. Mark it, move on, come back. One stubborn question can eat the time of 5 answerable ones. 72. Show your work. Even a wrong final answer earns partial credit when the steps are visible. Blank space earns exactly nothing. Write the steps. 73. The breathing reset. Mind gone blank. 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. 3 times. It dials down the alarm system enough for the memories to come back out. 74. Never change answers. The famous advice says trust your first instinct. The research says the opposite. Most answer changes go from wrong to right. Change it when you have a reason. 75. Read it twice. Half of lost marks are reading errors. The word not, the word accept, the wrong unit. Read the question twice. Underline the traps, then answer. 76. Guard your sleep. 7 to 9 hours isn't laziness, it's when your brain writes yesterday into long-term memory. Cut sleep and you're deleting your own study time. 77. Move before you study. 20 minutes of walking or exercise before a session sharpens attention and memory for hours after. The warm-up isn't for your legs. 78. Water on the desk. Even mild dehydration measurably dulls concentration. A bottle within reach means you drink without deciding to. Cheap upgrade, zero effort. 79. Caffeine timing. Coffee helps focus, but it hangs around for hours. An afternoon cup can quietly tax tonight's sleep, and sleep is the bigger deal. Front load it. 80. The sunlight start. 10 minutes of morning daylight anchors your body clock, which quietly improves tonight's sleep and tomorrow's focus. Curtains open, brain on. 81. Walk breaks. Break time means moving, not switching screens. A 5-minute walk resets attention in a way another feed never will. 82. The sugar crash. The candy and soda combo spikes you for 20 minutes, then drops you below where you started. Steady snacks keep a steady brain. 83. Screens before bed. The last scroll before sleep pushes your bedtime later and cuts the deep sleep that stores what you studied. Park the phone across the room. 84. Miracle brain foods. No single food unlocks genius, whatever the thumbnail said. Regular meals and not studying starving is the whole trick. Boring but true. 85. One study spot. Study in the same place and the place itself starts cueing focus. Like a gym for your brain. Beds don't count. That cue is taken. 86. The clear desk. Every object in view bids for attention. Clear everything except the current subject, and the desk stops arguing with you. 87. Light it right. Dim rooms whisper bedtime to your brain. Bright, cool light keeps it alert. A window or a decent lamp is genuine study equipment. 88. Grayscale mode. Turn the phone screen grey in settings and the apps lose their candy shine. Same phone, noticeably weaker pull. Free and reversible. 89. A little noise. Total silence makes some brains hunt for sounds. A steady background hum, like a fan or cafe murmur, can be easier to think over. Personal, test it. 90. Keep it cool. Warm, stuffy rooms are nap factories. Slightly cool with fresh air keeps you sharper. Crack the window before you blame your willpower. 91. Map the syllabus. The syllabus is the exam's table of contents. Print it, tick what you've mastered, and revision stops being guesswork about what might come up. 92. The weekly reset. Sunday, 20 minutes. What happened last week? What's due next week? What got skipped? Small steering corrections beat end-of-term rescue missions. 93. Plan backwards. Start from the exam date and walk backwards, placing topics on the calendar. Forward planning is hopeful. Backward planning is honest. 94. The talent excuse. I'm just not a math person is a story, not a diagnosis. Skills grow with corrected practice. The people who believe that measurably improve more. 95. 10,000 hours. A catchy book number, not a law of nature. Quality of practice crushes quantity of hours. 1 focused hour with feedback beats 3 of autopilot. 96. Follow one rabbit hole. Once a week, chase whatever genuinely made you curious. Grades be damned. Curiosity is the engine that makes the required stuff easier to pull. 97. Review before sleep. A 10-minute flick through today's notes right before bed hands the material to your sleeping brain for overnight filing. Easiest gains in this list. 98. The 5-year test. Stressed over one quiz, ask if it matters in 5 years. Usually it doesn't, and calm is worth marks. When it does matter, you'll know. 99. Keep a wins list. Write down every topic you've conquered. On bad days, the list is proof you've done hard things before. and motivation borrows from evidence. 100. Test yourself on this video. Scroll back, pick 10 random tips, and see how many you can explain out loud. That's active recall. Tip 1. Already working on you. And that's all 100 study tips. Feel free to come back to this video anytime. It works as a checklist before every exam season. If one of these tips surprised you, drop its number in the comments. I read them all. And if you learned something, subscribing is the easiest way to say thanks. It also tells me to make more of these. Until then, pick 3 tips, start today, and I'll see you in the next one.